I'm your host, Adam Krieger. Great show for you today. Um, let's get it started off. We had Jack Mascone. He's an NBA 2K professional player. He's part of the Wizards organization, and he tells a lot about how he got into 2K, and his path into the draft. He was the number one overall draft pick 2 years ago. He was on the championship team last year. So this guy knows what he's talking about. He kind of gives a little insight into a day in the life of a professional gamer, what he does, his future, and what kind of goes on in his life. And it's honestly a great interview. I haven't talked to anyone like him before. You can check out his podcast at Third Take. He does a show on Vendetta with Christian Issue. And then back half of the show, we got Scotty Ice returning. We talk about All-Star Weekend. We draft our own All-Star teams for this year and go over a few of our favorite bets. I think it's a great segment you should look at. Stick around for. Please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe right there. Hit the notification, like the video, comment on the video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, please follow us on Spotify. Trying to grow, trying to get this podcast to the moon. Obviously, I had a great episode on episode 10, which I have to do. God, the fallback from that has been incredible. Rico blocked me, and then I've been in like burner account hell on Twitter. My mentions have been destroyed by, fake Jeff Nadeau's and all these quote unquote riders just fucking blowing up my timeline, calling me a scale, bunch of stupid shit. But that's kind of what I've been going through since the end of episode 10. It's a great episode today. Make sure you guys buy a shirt in the Vendetta store. Support us on Patreon. Check out Symbol. If you do check out Symbol, use our code Vendetta. $10 extra on your deposit. Enjoy the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Kriegs Korner. That's Corner with a K. Today, I'm joined by Jack Mascone. Jack is a professional 2K player. We're actually from the same hometown back in New York, but honestly, I have a great interview planned with him. Talk about his life and shit. But before we get into that, why don't you, first of all, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm stoked to be on here. I love doing this type of stuff. I actually did. Do you go to Maryland?
No, I don't. My sister does.
No. All right. So I did a podcast with somebody from Maryland, like probably 4 weeks ago, and then when it was pretty smooth. But yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about this stuff. I love talking about it. It's interesting. A lot of people don't know enough about it. So yeah, I'm pumped.
Bro, the esports world has kind of gone crazy the last few years. But before we get into that, why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are, your life before gaming, and before this all went crazy.
Yeah, man. I grew up in a small town in Westchester, Irvington, New York, as you know. I was a pretty big basketball player. That's all I loved to do, really. It was like basketball and lacrosse in middle school, and it was weird. I had to transition to I started playing tennis in high school in ninth grade, and like I was kind of burnt out of basketball, and I just needed a new change of pace. And whatever, Irvington obviously had a solid team, but I was playing mostly outside. And outside of school, I was going to a tennis academy in Nanuet, and I was leaving school every day at noon. And I was playing from like noon to 6, Monday through Friday, and tournaments on the weekends. So that was a big part of high school. So, but long story short, I was always pretty consumed with some, activity, sports related, up until I would say senior year of high school and into my gap year when I started playing 2K pretty heavy.
So you took a gap year, you just alluded to, and then what were you doing that gap year? Did you know, like at that point we were already like all in on 2K and you knew what the plan was, or like how did you know that you were legit at 2K, and walk me through like that time in your life?
Yeah, so initially I took a gap year because I was gonna play tennis in college, and I was using the gap year just as a year to get better. I wasn't gonna lose anything. Educationally, I was gonna go down to Florida to a place called Saddlebrook and train with some of those guys, and I was gonna do like a homeschool kind of, not homeschool, but just like online college courses, and then play tennis like most of the day. And senior year of high school, I got a stress fracture in my shin, and I didn't recover fast enough. I actually played basketball that winter, for the team, and I just heard it even more, and I couldn't get back to the level I was at in tennis. So instead of taking a gap year and going to Florida, I decided to move down to Atlanta, Georgia, and I actually taught tennis and whatnot. And during that time, I was, I would teach tennis during the day, and I was 17 at the time, just turning 18, and I was alone in Georgia. So like at night, I had a couple buddies at Emory, which is pretty close, but other than that, I was pretty posted up, and I would just be playing 2K. Um, I was like, that's when I first learned about the league, and like was like, man, this is really cool. These guys are traveling, they're getting flown out places, they're seeing the world, all from playing this video game. And I was like, I kind of want to try this, but I came back from Atlanta that summer, the summer before I was going to go to college. I had already committed to Arizona State, and I was like, hey, like I'm not going to go to Arizona State to sit in my dorm and play 2K. So I kind of made it the decision to give it up, and I actually got to school, and my roommate had a PlayStation in his room, and of course the kid has 2K. So
Of
like me
course.
and him, me and him are going back and forth, and whatever. I decided to get one of my own, and then it transpired from there. I actually the Bucks hosted a tournament, and the winner of the tournament got a free bid into the draft pool, and I ended up winning that tournament in my dorm in Arizona, and whatever. I got the bid into the pool, and I decided to take that winter semester off in preparation for the league, the draft in particular, which was in February, and that's kind of how all that transpired.
So you went from winning an entry tournament to
Yeah.
get a raffle spot and to the number one overall pick, a few months later. Like what were you doing in that gap year? Were you playing like 8 to 10 hours of video game, like to 2K? And then like when did you start picking up like the hype, and when did you realize that you were like potentially a first round pick and never mind a number one overall pick?
So interestingly enough, the the way the picks work, obviously like the Wizards could have chose anybody they wanted, but it's more it's kind of harder to determine like who's, the number one versus the number 10 guy. But like most of that stuff is kind of panned out through the interview, and just seeing like what kind of person they want in their culture, and who would fit the organization best. So there's probably 15 kids in that draft that could have been in a similar spot and potentially got number one. But I learned that I was like in contention to even be in those 15 places was when I was in Atlanta. I was actually gambling in Atlanta. I was going out to places like I would go out with some of my buddies, and like we would just pull up, and they would front for me, and we would gamble. And then I started doing it online, and some of the guys I was playing against online were actually in the 2K league. So that um, moved itself on, and then I started playing the 5v5 mode with some of those guys I was gambling against in the 1v1 mode. So 5v5 is what the league is based on. So everyone controls one player, as opposed to like I'm controlling the whole team, which is whatever how I first got into it. And yeah, man, just making those connections and seeing, starting to play with those guys who are already in the league and whatnot. I was like, if I really want to do this, I can do this. And I was doing that in Atlanta before I even left to school. And when I left to school, I still had those connections. So when I decided to bring it back, I hit some of those guys up and be like, hey, if you need one, like, let me come through, let me play. And yeah, it kind of just moved from there.
It's literally fucking crazy because the first time I even knew this was happening, Darren Ravel tweeted out a picture of you and on the stage, and you're like number one overall pick, and he was like said your salary or whatever. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I know that kid. He's from Irvington, but um, so now you're part of the organization. Would I mean, every week I saw fucking some crazy stats. You just putting up ridiculous numbers. But what is like a day in the life of a 2K player for you? Are you like so? Are you down in DC with everyone else? Like, how does that? Where you guys all like live together? Is it similar
Yeah,
to
so we're
that?
actually we're in like they pay for our housing, and we're in an apartment. It's really nice. It's like I would say like a 2,000 square foot apartment we have to ourselves. We had a gym, a pool, a market, like a whole outdoor, a bar, a restaurant, all in this apartment setting. So whatever, it's a super nice apartment in DC. We're like 5 minutes out from Capital One Arena. Everything's paid for. We have access to all the events going on at Capital One Arena. But then like aside from that, in it like your traditional day kind of looks like, I would say we practice from like 11 to 3. And other than that, it's up to you. So, when we got there, it was pretty fun because everyone was in school, whatever, George Washington's in session, G Town, and we're all 10 minutes from all that. So it was fun, whatever. We're going out and whatnot. And then I would say a week in, it was like March 14th or whatnot, the whole city got shut down for COVID. And our organization was shocked. So we were actually inside in our apartments. We couldn't even leave our apartments for like 2 weeks. Like it was brutal. And the NBA, the 2K league, the NBA 2K league, and Monumental, um, was all figuring out like, are we going? Do they send us home? Do they keep us here? Is the league going to still take place? So that was kind of a time of not doing much, and it took a big toll on a lot of our mentals. Honestly, just like that those being the first 3 weeks of the season essentially, or the whatever after the first week, but those next 2 weeks were just brutal. And like, we had 6 more months to go. And even after that, even after they decided to continue the 2K league, we were still practicing in our apartments for 5 hours a day. And the gym was closed, the pool was closed, everything was closed. You could barely go outside. People were freaking out. And then whatever, when stuff started to open back up relatively, there was all the protests in the summer, and there was the 5 p.m. curfews. I mean, I'm in the heart of DC. So we never really had like a real good DC experience aside from the first week. The last week, actually, like late August, after we won the finals, we had posted up at the pool a bunch and like just chilling up there. And that was really fun. But other than that, man, we were just, I bought like a jump rope, some dumbbells, and a yoga mat, and I was just trying to work out as much as I could. And then other than that, we were whatever. Like I would sleep and stay in my apartment and work out and play the game.
Damn,
It was pretty bad.
it sounds like something that like every 2K gamer could dream of, a chance to just play 2K all day. But obviously the pandemic like shuts it down, and it, like you said, it took a toll on all your mental. So how close are the five of you, your team? You guys like you build big good chemistry. You guys obviously won the championship last year. Um,
Yeah.
so I like walk me through kind of your team chemistry and that type of shit.
Yeah, we're close. I mean, one of my buddies, I went down and we to see the Super Bowl with him. We have some friends from back from whatever. We know some kids in common, and I went down to Charlotte and we were watching the Super Bowl together. So me and him are really close. We're all really close, honestly, because like we won so much money together. And it wasn't like that initially because everyone was pretty fed up with this pandemic, and it was easy to argue and whatnot. But like those are kids like I'd go chill with, even outside of 2K. Um, you spend that much time with people, and you go through that much adversity and have that much success, you bond a lot. So
So
we're definitely close.
what was the biggest transition? Because you're playing 2K for fun, and you just mentioned there's a gigantic prize pool at the end of the 2K league. So what changes in your head from playing the game for like fun and to relax, and now it's literally your career, your livelihood? Like there's plenty of people that are like riding on it. Like what's the biggest difference in that? Like
Um, I would say just like my media presence and being like marketable. Like that's obviously something I never thought about really growing up. Um, and then I'm getting my the woman who helps me out with like she does my social media and shit. She would like I'd be getting texts every other day like, hey, I need you, I'll pick you up, I'll be here, I'll be there at 3 Eastern, we're gonna go down to NBC Washington, they need you to do a podcast, or like I'm gonna whatever, Washington Times wants to do an article, can you speak to him at 5:30 today? So stuff like that, and you just always have to be on your A game. Is kind of like that was the biggest transition to me because I didn't realize how real it was going to be initially. You know what I mean? I come into this thing and like, yeah, it's a crazy experience, but I'd never thought that it would be that like deep in.
yeah, I know
Honestly.
it makes sense. So give me a quick little rundown how the 2K league works. Does every NBA franchise have a team?
So there's 24 teams. The Spurs don't have one. The Suns don't have one. A couple other I'm missing, but Then there's like 2 esports organizations. One is Gen G, and they're from Shanghai, and all their guys are they live in LA. So they're whatever. They're like they have so much money because they're like they have like a Fortnite team and all that. It's like a real
Yeah,
esports
they're an
team.
esports org.
Yeah, it's
It's
an
different than
esports org. Exactly. So all their funding, like, dude, they had like a $50 breakfast budget, like every day. Like stupid. And like they're in these nice apartments, like whatever. They have like free Ubers, like everything you could think of because like they're this whole thing. And then there's obviously the NBA teams who like our amenities are more like we get to see the players and go to all these events. Like I can go to Capital One, and the head of my player development is John Thompson, and he was the Georgetown basketball coach, so he's helping me out with Georgetown, like stuff like that. But it's not as like typically luxurious as those esports organizations that come in and have their own teams.
So there's 24 teams. You said what's the regular season like? How many games you play? You play every team. You kind
So
of
no, so it's 16 games.
16 games, and then
Like you don't play a team twice.
does every team make the playoffs or no?
No, so 8 teams make the playoffs.
So you narrowed it down, and then how'd the playoffs work? It was all like done quickly. I know obviously it was pandemic related, but in normal circumstances, do you go to like you guys all play in one facility and play in a LAN, or is it always over online?
Yeah, so normally all our regular season games are in Times Square, and then there's a tournament in Vegas, Orlando, and LA, like throughout the season. So whatever, every week traditionally we would get flown out to New York and we'd play our games there. All the teams would be there, and you'd play across from whatever the other team. Like you're 5 feet away, you're on land. Obviously, you're in like a stadium. Um, Nah, but this year obviously it was online. We had our cameras and whatnot. The cool thing about this year is all the games were televised on ESPN, so like the exposure was really cool. And just telling your buddies like, hey, like tune in, I'll be on ESPN fighting this dumbass game.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, a dumbass game that's fucking giving you a career,
no,
and
I know that's what I'm
I
saying.
know
Yeah,
it's insane. It's
yeah.
insane. Um, so what? How does you kind of mentioned some of the stuff that the organization gives you and the amenities and stuff like that, but are you guys so you guys are treated more like just regular employees, and you'd say than like a esports org, like a typical like I don't know phase or G2 or whatever
Yeah,
you want
so
to
it's
call it.
a little more, a little bit. I would say we're treated pretty much like the athletes, aside from the salary. Like we have access to like we have access to all the team gyms, all the team doctors, like all that stuff. So pretty much anywhere we want to go that the Wizards players would go, we can make that work. Um, but it's not as like cushiony as like a Gen G.
So it's a crazy question. Do you have your hands
What?
insured? Are your hand?
No,
No,
nah,
dude.
bro.
I just know that like a bunch of fucking.
Yo, that
I
is mad funny, dude. Nobody has ever asked me that.
what?
What does
Yeah.
that? What would that mean?
Like if like God forbid like you're lifting, you crush because especially when you're playing video games, like you hurt your fingers, you hurt your hand, like you can't perform anywhere close to what you're gonna do. And I know a bunch of streamers, like specifically Nick Merckx, like he's got like big time insurance on his hands in case like he fucks up his hands, he can never play video games again. And
Wow.
listen, you listen, you get access to fucking Wizards team doctors and that type of shit. It might be a little bit less of a issue, but something to keep in the back of your
That
head.
that is wild. I did not know that.
Just look into it. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, now this is kind of like the more fun part of it. So now when you go play your friends in 2K, you just spank the fuck out of them every time. Like you're hopping on 2K with
It's
Christian,
pretty flagrant, dude. I'm giving issue to Lakers, dude. I'm taking the Cavs.
and you still smack them.
Nah, nah, honestly, dude, I haven't played 2K with Ish in a minute. We used to play like 17 and whatever, but or 18, I forget which one, but I've been away, man. Like I was in Atlanta, then I was in Arizona, then uh I was in DC. And like I'll whatever. When I'm back home and when I'm with the buddies, I don't really I try not to play 2K because I'm pretty burnt out. Um but I'm actually playing an event. I'm playing a Philo event on the 8th. for my fraternity down in Arizona State. So I'm gonna smoke those boys up, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna win that for them for sure.
you get a nice little advantage having a fucking 2K pro on your team. So do you even play video games for fun anymore, or it's just like a full blown career? You only pick up the
Nah, I mean
sticks for.
I usually just get on if I'm pretty much just playing for bread. Um, because like it's not like a Call of Duty where you have to be so refined. Like it's not like I'm not good at like Fortnite or any of that. Like I'm not good at video games traditionally. 2K is pretty much the only game I ever play. And it's more just like a thinking game in the sense of like the actual controls are not complicated.
How much does the game change year to year? Because obviously, 2K puts out new titles and like the animations are different, and like some of like the shot meters are a little bit different. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they haven't really changed that much recently, but like how much adjustment do you need to go from 2K20 to 2K21?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like in the 1v1 game mode where you're controlling like the whole team, it's a bigger adjustment than 5v5. And that's because like the same principles of 5v5 will always apply, just in the sense of like, there's 5 people with 5 real brains on the court. So it's like, how people are going to move without the ball. And when someone cuts this way, what's going to happen? So that stuff always stays. But like the actual gameplay, um, not as much as you think. Like I'm telling you, it's pretty basic. Like there's not much going on. They'll change like the animations and how it looks, but like the strategy behind what you want to do is pretty consistent.
All right, so do you stream on Twitch? Like, what is that like for you? Or like, how does that work? Can you stream your gameplay? Do you stream practices, or like do other teams like scout your streams, or is that something that you don't really dabble in?
Funny you say that. I actually try not to stream that much because like I don't stream enough to have like a real fan base, like one of those guys, like whatever, where they have 2,000 subscribers and they're making whatever $10,000 a month just streaming. I would rather not stream and make the money in the league where nobody's able to scout me, because like I just have confidence in that in that game, like whatever, that we're gonna win it. And like I would rather not. It's just such a big effort, dude. I'm not in the off season. I'm not really trying to do that. When I get on the game, I'm trying to get on my own time and like just try and be efficient with it, knock out 2 or 3 hours, get off and do whatever. Like I'm not, with streaming, it's pretty much like 7, 8 hours a day, interacting with this chat. And I just don't have a huge passion for that. I'd rather be just doing something else, honestly. So I'm not a big streamer. And I also don't want people to have as much film on me because
Yeah,
it's
that
pretty
makes
tendency
sense.
based. Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for our interview with Jack. Jack, where can they find you on Twitter? Give them your socials, and when does your season start? Like, when can we watch that? All, give me all that type of shit.
Yeah, for sure. So Twitter, Instagram, is Jack Mascone. So whatever my name. And then with the season starts. So I'm going out to market. I'm going out to DC April 2nd, I believe. And the season starts in mid-May and it'll run through like September. So I think it'll probably be on ESPN2 again. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm trying to run it back. Whatever, dude.
Back
Two-time champ would be pretty sweet.
back to back. That'd be a
Yeah.
nice little resume builder. Two-time
Yep.
2K champ. All
For
right,
sure.
everyone. That's gonna do it for Jack. Make sure you follow him on socials at Jack Mascone. Thanks again.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once-a-month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kriegs Korner. It's Corner 3K. Today, Scotty Ice back in the building. Scott, how you doing today?
Good, man. It's been a week off the show, right? I'm just glad to be back.
Yeah, I think now that we're in like this dead gambling time, like it's hard to give so many picks and so much shit like that. But like when football season comes back around,
sure.
we'll be back on for both episodes a week. But for now, I just figured content wise, it's easier for us to just probably do once a week and have some more, actual thought into our segment. And I know that
Hell yeah.
you're busy with real work and shit too. So today,
Hey, you're busy getting on some big names, so
dude,
you don't need me. You got Mascone, NBA 2K champ, and Jeff Reduce. So look at you. You're taking off.
I'm just doing what I can, shoot a few Twitter DMs, see what sticks. But yeah, so in case you guys don't know what he's talking about, Jeff Nadeau is on episode 10. You should go check that out if you haven't listened. And from that point on, I'm literally just now caught up in like fucking Rico Bosco burner Twitter Central. I have a bunch of fucking no-name face accounts tweeting at me for a bunch of stupid ass fucking shit. But that's besides the point. Today, Scott and I are talking about NBA All-Star Weekend. And before we even get into it, like we're gonna give some picks for the 3-point contest and I guess the dunk contest that has literally 3 people. But Scott, why do all All-Star weekends suck?
They suck, man. So I mean, I don't know if you watch All-Star games from year to year. They did somewhat fix the All-Star game with the new ending, where like with instead of the last 5 minutes, they just add 15 points to the winning team score, which I think they really should be doing that. Like honestly, I can make the case for them doing it across every sport, like and in meaningful games. But that should make the game a little more exciting. It should be fun again this year. But like in terms of like 3-point contests, skills challenge, and dunk contests, like I will most likely not be watching unless I have a serviceable looking wager on any of the events because that shit sucks.
So the idea of All-Star Weekend is great because I think dunks are one of the coolest parts of basketball and shooters that can shoot and just not miss. That shit is really cool to watch. But the dunk contest is so fucking bad when they have literally this year there are 3 competitors and only one of them I recognize their name and it's solely because he's from Ossining where we're from and he's on the Knicks.
And he's a Knick.
Exactly. Like or else I would have no fucking clue who any of these people are. So I mean we grew up watching these clips of like Jordan the dunk contest, all these fucking the A-list, best of the best, like the coolest athletes, and now we're getting fucking Anfree Simmons and Cassius Stanley. Like I couldn't tell you what team they're on, who they are, like what are we doing? Like this is
so I remember watching these guys in college. Like, I mean, these guys are all like freak athletes. They can jump through the roof. My question for you is like, yeah, like maybe these guys can put on the coolest dunks, but I know me personally, I'd rather see a little worse dunking and a little more high profile name. Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Show me like Damian Lillard, who probably can't do anything that crazy, but like get him in the show versus fucking Cassius Stanley. Like, I'm sure he'll have some cool dunks, but it doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Even if the dunks were not 10s or whatever every single time, I would like to see people that everyone know give fans a reason to turn on the All-Star Weekend, whatever, instead we have to watch these shitty people. And if you get to the 3-point contest, there's a little bit of, there's obviously bigger names and, but
I mean, who needs to sit there and watch a bunch of 3-pointers?
It's a cool idea, but it's so poorly executed, and they just keep talking about it every year. I don't even know why they're doing it this year. Why they're even having an All-Star Weekend? They're so strict with the COVID restrictions and the travel, and I mean, there are plenty of players have said they don't even want to be a part of it. LeBron's even criticized it before, and now he's a fucking captain, and he's drafting, and he's going to draft the team. But it's just like it's so dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so the rest of this little segment is going to look like is we're going to give our brief little picks for whatever competition, skills, all that fun shit, and then we're going to draft our starting 5 the same way that LeBron and KD are going to do. Kevin Durant's actually not playing, but he is a captain. He was voted that, so he is still picking a team. So we'll go through that. I'm gonna give Scott Durant because he's a Nets boy. So um, we'll go from there. But
Yo, are we drafting based on what we think they're gonna do or what we think you should do?
I'm drafting the team the five that I want. Like we're playing NBA Blacktop
Okay,
on 2K. Like these are the five that I'm going with. Like
got you.
you should obviously draft a big or whatever, but like no, like I want my team to fucking be cool, not anything like
Yep,
that.
yep. Yo, it's weird because so Durant's not playing, so he's drafting, but like his starting five is gonna be five people besides him. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, LeBron obviously he's a starter, so he will be playing on that team. But before we get into that, we'll get into a little bit of the dunk. We'll just run through our picks for this quickly. Nothing really crazy. I'm gonna go with the dunk contest first. I see Obi Toppin, ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. 914 is very own. He's the favorite at plus 150. Then you got Anfree Simmons plus 175 and Cassius Stanley plus 200. What are you going for, Scott?
I'm gonna go with fucking Anthony Simmons. I've seen him play on Portland. Like the man can absolutely jump through the fucking roof. Like he's got like that spring, like the real spring. I mean, all these guys are freak athletes, but Simmons to me looks like the most like naturally gifted jumper. So I'll probably throw no more than $10 on him, man, because I really don't want to watch. But
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
there's no way I'm watching it, but I'm gonna take Obi plus 150. Not 914, very own.
Just for the record, books.
Yeah, no, no shot. I'm watching this. All right, 3-point contest. We got Steph, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Another side note, another 914 guy in this, Donovan Mitchell. He's kind of been in the mix
Oh
a
yeah.
lot. He's been in the mix a lot the last few days, counting their loss yesterday as a win. He's chirping and I'll be yelling at the NBA refs, all that fun stuff. But 914 everywhere you look, you see a little bit of it nowadays. It's awesome. But you got the odds below in front of you. What do you like?
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously there's not much value, but Steph Curry the favorite at plus 190. Like, I mean, ever since I saw that video of him nailing like 104 straight threes from the corner, like I don't know how you pick against him. I remember, I mean, he won this a few years ago, I think in 2015.
Yep,
And
2015.
a couple years ago, he lost in the finals to Joe Harris, my boy, on the Brooklyn Nets. But I feel like at the very least, he's making the finals. Like I don't see him not. So at plus odds, even like I don't care if he's a heavy favorite. I'm taking him.
Yeah, I mean, it's honest. He's not that heavy of a favorite. I mean, Zach LaVine is the next guy at plus 250. He's the guy that should be in the dunk contest. I mean, I haven't really been watching too much NBA this year. I don't know why if he's wet from three, but he's the next guy
Yeah,
at plus
he's
250.
having a really good year.
Is he wet? All right.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
I'm gonna take a little bit of value on here. I'm gonna take Devin Booker plus 500. I think anyone who's connected with the Kardashians, they have a quick little bump and then they're gone. You know, if I were actually betting this, what I would do is I would bet 1 unit on Steph and then 1 unit on another guy with plus money.
Yeah.
And in that case, that would be Devin Booker just for shits and gigs. That way, if Booker wins, you're still cool, and if Steph wins, you're only down 0.1 unit. So that's kind of the way I would do that. Now,
Word.
skills challenge. Now this one to me is weird because the favorites are the guards, Luka and Chris Paul, but the last few years there've been the bigs that have been winning them. Kristaps won in 2017, Bam won last year, Karl Anthony Towns in 2016. What are you looking for that? And then of course you got Julius Randle plus 800 as like one of the bigs.
Yep. This is tough. I'm literally making this pick right now. I like all these. So the hard thing with the skills challenge is they got to actually pass the ball through the tire. I mean, that will slow you down, and you got to trust that they're going to make that first 3-pointer. I think it's like it usually comes down to who makes the three first, because then they just run back. I think I'm going to go Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
He's a point guard, right? You got to go with Chris Paul.
Dude, I think dude, I feel like he's been around forever. His NBA career literally might be as long as we are, as I am old.
He,
He just keeps fucking having like another team will sign him and he'll have like a quick little bump, and then you'll hear another story about how he can't really be on a team with anyone. But so you got
I mean, he's an
CP3.
all-star. He's still top of his game.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's just that that like generation of basketball players that are just still fucking killing it. It's really impressive because
It's crazy.
the
It's
turnover and some
crazy.
of these guys, like it's insane. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take Vucevic. I hope I said that right. Plus 650. I think he's on the Nuggets, right? I don't know. That name stands out to me.
No, that's Jokic. You're thinking
Sh-
Jokic.
all right, who's this Vucevic guy? Do you know who he
Vucevic is
is?
on the Magic. He's like, yeah. I mean, he's a very good player. He's a big
Fuck,
man,
fucking,
but
I'm taking him. I don't know why. That's my gut for today.
now you know he's gonna win. Whenever you have those moments where it's like you don't even know who a guy is, where like you get the wrong person, you put money on it, that's an automatic win.
Yeah, I wrote these out before, and I literally took that thinking that I was talking about the Nuggets guy, and that dude's what? That dude's just fucking a baller. That dude, Jokic, I know him. He passes really fucking well. I wrote that down thinking that was going to be him. All right, into the next half, we're gonna go
Let's do it.
pick our starting five from the All Star game. Um, I'm gonna give you. Well, I'll be LeBron because you're the Nets guy. So I guess that means I have the first pick by default. And that gives me LeBron. So
Yeah.
we're just drafting the starters. So it's just in case you guys are unsure. The starters are Giannis, Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Kawhi, Jokic, the guy who I thought I was taking, LeBron, Luca, and Steph. I don't know if I said them already, but that's 10.
All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to do like since you have LeBron, do I get the next two, or you want to just do 1-1? Like
You
1-2-2-2.
Nah, we can go straight snake draft style, so you get two. And I am just saying we're
And then you
voting.
get two.
Yeah, we're voting this as if we're playing NBA 2K and like we're picking our park starting five, not like now we're not drafting who we think the teams are gonna draft, all that fun shit.
Word.
So
Yeah. Of course.
all right.
Got it. All right. I guess for my two, I will go with Steph having a great year, earned that All-Star starting nod. I'm gonna go with a favorite for MVP, Big Joel Embiid.
Steph and Joel. Yeah, I mean, you I could see them. I could see the former Warrior guys linking up. So Steph and Embiid, dude, Embiid's like one of those guys where I feel like every single day I log into Twitter, I get like either the NBA Twitter hates him or NBA Twitter loves him. Like it all depends, I think, how Ben Simmons does. One of those guys is gonna get traded. But
Yeah, and so I mean, everyone loves Embiid this year. I mean, he's been absolutely amazing, but like it's gonna come down to the playoffs because they've underachieved pretty much every year in the playoffs, and it mostly comes down to Ben Simmons not being able to shoot. But this year, I mean, look, they got the one seed, look really good, so no one's gonna really know for sure if they're for real until probably round two of the playoffs.
dude, I just don't understand how in today's NBA there is someone a point guard who cannot shoot, like, and refuses to shoot. Like to me, I don't understand how that still works. Like you see now the big men are shooting, your centers are shooting. How are you gonna not shoot as a point guard? But
It makes
that's
no sense. I mean,
that's
he's
another
he's
debate.
probably gonna win. I think right now he's the favorite for defensive player of the year, but this is my all-star team. We don't care about defense.
True, we very much know that. That's the other thing is since like since I started gambling, I just literally blind bet every NBA All-Star game over. I think it's gone over every single fucking year.
Yeah,
Because
I
they
mean,
just
yeah, you have to.
it's so fun, and the totals are literally like ridiculous. Like I think it's probably close to like fucking 400 nowadays, and still I'm taking
I mean,
it.
if you take the under in this game, then you just are absolutely no fun. Like
If
you
you take the
cannot.
under, if you take the under in this game, I really hope you don't turn it on because you're gonna hate yourself from the second you do. All right, I'm gonna go. So I have LeBron already. I got two. I think I'm gonna go. Dude, Bradley Beal was not someone I was expecting to see it in the starters. I know he's having a tremendous year, but I'm gonna take Kyrie, reunite that duo. and give me Jokic. Give me Jokic. Give me my big guy to guard Embiid.
Nice.
That should be fun.
Yeah, that should be good. I think my next two. I think you just left me with Kawhi. Snatch him up. That's an obvious one.
I did leave you with Kawhi. That was probably pretty dumb of me.
And I'm probably gonna. I'm between Luca and Giannis. I really don't like Giannis. You know what? I'm gonna go with Kawhi and give me Beal. I just want the shooting.
Good, you could take Beal because I did not want that. I know he's having a tremendous year. This is the first time he's getting his own like team in DC, and without being in the shadows of John Wall. I guess it's not his own team. He's with Russell Westbrook, but even still,
Westbrook sucks.
That's what I'm saying. He's out of fucking John Wall's shadow as the face of that franchise. All right.
Yeah.
So I got my final two right now. I mean, it's no brainer. Give me Giannis, and I'll take Jason Tatum. I love Tatum. I've liked him from the second he stepped on the court for the Celtics. Him and Jaylen Brown are literally, I think, the future of the NBA. That duo, if they don't get separated, I could see them doing really well. It's, we're in this like weird point of the NBA where it's the same teams and the same guys competing every single year, but I think they're literally they're the next level. They're the two. So give me Tatum and Giannis.
Word. All right, that leaves me with Luca. I gotta say, I like my five. And talking about Tatum and Brown, like, I mean, they're definitely struggling this year. They're like not towards the top of the East like everyone expected, but those two are a ton of fun to watch. Like, they are just elite athletes, like pretty crazy shot creators. So I would hate to see them split up. Like, I understood the Celtics not wanting to trade either of them for Harden. I didn't understand the Heat. I mean, the Heat didn't want to give up Hero or fucking Duncan Robinson, but I understand why I'm going to keep these two guys together.
What a joke, not wanting to give up Tyler Hero. Like,
yeah,
he has one good game in the bubble, one good series in the bubble, and now
literally.
he's like, NBA is so weird with that. Like, it's just like the fans like hyped him up. The Heat needed someone to rally around, I guess. He's not like Bam is like the guy on that team. Yeah, I mean, I just drafted my team based off of who I would play with in 2K, and Bradley Beal is not one of the guys I'm picking. But that's
okay.
That's just me.
Give me that knockdown three.
I'll take the defense.
So
All right.
You want to pick reserves, or are we just sticking with the five?
Do you want to pick reserves? We can. Let's pick
our
next.
No.
Let's pick our next
we
story.
Can stick with the five. Okay.
Let's pick our next story. I'm not drafting my 12th man on the NBA. Like, no fucking chance. So you get one more.
All right, I'm obviously taking Harden.
Yeah, no brainer. That was shocking. Dude, give me. I probably need another big, but fuck it. Give me Donovan Mitchell, 914. It'd be very off-brand of me to not draft 914.
I think you got to take Anthony Davis.
Yeah, probably. All right, so give me those two.
Okay. All right. I will. I mean, anyone but fucking Ben Simmons for me. If you can't shoot, you're not going anywhere near my fucking team. I guess I'm taking Paul George, giving him and Kawhi that little chemistry bubble. For my third, I guess I'll go. I already have Embiid. I don't have I got Kawhi. I kind of need one more big too. You know what? I guess we're gonna send Embiid the whole game.
He's
not coming out.
Game, huh?
The whole game.
It's not a typical Embiid issue. Getting really tired, huh? That's very off-brand for him.
We can have Kawhi play the five if we have to. Harden should play big, but I'm taking Dame.
Dame time. Yeah, that's who I was eyeing. Give me, dude. For some reason, you sold me on Zach LaVine before, making me think that he's gonna be legit. But give me.
He's legit, dude. He's having a really fucking good season. First time All-Star.
You gotta give me D-Book. Wait, Anthony Davis isn't even playing. So I need another one. Give me all right. Instead of AD,
That's not bad.
I'll take Zion, and then I don't know why. He's just a fucking. They literally expanded the bubble just to get him in there. I feel like I can't not have him on my team. So he's my
Yep.
replacement for AD, and then give me I probably need another big. Fuck it, give me Julius Randle, 914 Knicks. Even though he's not from the 914. He's killing it this year. They love him in New York. Listen, the Knicks are relevant for the first time in God knows how long, and it seems to be because of him. So
I know.
all right,
It's definitely has to do with him.
that's our top 8. So we got one more little segment left. We kind of teased this the last time Scott came on. We're gonna do our top 3 favorite bets to make. This is probably gonna be like more like a spitball conversation versus a list. Scott, go ahead. I know yours.
You know mine. I mean, I teased it last week, but I can't not put it at number 1 just out of respect. No runs in the first inning. Absolutely exhilarating bet. Like there is really no other feeling in the world like it. And there's one thing I'll add on to it, but like when you get to playoff baseball or like any kind of like big game, like I think they do it for Sunday night baseball too. Like the live betting where you can actually bet like in the top of the first inning, like before it heads to the bottom, you could say, will there be a hit in the bottom of the first inning? Which is even more exhilarating. It's like, it's similar odds, like no hit, like +1, plus 120, and you got to hope for just a 1-2-3 inning or maybe a walk or an error. But both those bets, like baseball, every single pitch, like that shit will get you in the edge of your seat.
So mine is I do like that. We talked about that last time. I love betting that when Grom's in the bump, like especially early in the season when these pitchers are like, the pitchers nowadays that they train year round. It's not like they have to actually get into like mid-season
Yep.
form. If you're talking this bets in the 7th inning, like then you're having a different story. But like these guys, especially early in the year, they're fired up. It's their first time stepping on the big league mound, especially with this year with fans for the first time. But I'm going to transition to NBA. Actually, I've really discovered this bet last year NBA Finals. The over in like the points, rebounds, assists, just like taking LeBron or Hero or AD, like one of these guys that was just putting up fucking crazy numbers and dishing the ball. Like to me this year, like if you get a line with that with like Harden, you got to take the over just because he's literally been doing everything. And like when Russell Wilson's putting up triple doubles, like those are the bets. So I'm taking the over on that. The run,
Word.
not the runs, the points, rebounds, assists.
Yep. That's a good one. For me, number 2, and that's another. Usually, it's a pretty quick hitter. It's another reason why I'm so diseased because I just live for the quick action. But first touchdown in an NFL game. I mean, you'll get a whole long list, and if you like, you never want to go with like the starting running back or like the star wide receiver, but you go down the list a little bit, you get like that tight end in there, or maybe like the second or third receiver. You'll get nice like 15-1 odds or something like that. I've had some like amazing wins on that bet. Of course, I mean,
I was gonna
it's
say
almost always a loss.
you got to have one. You got to have like your first one for that has to be a winner. Like I've taken that a few times and they've all been losers, and I was like, fuck, I'll never take it again. I feel like that's one of those bets where you have to hit it your first time, and like after that, you're kind of like addicted. Who was it? You definitely remember.
I'll tell you my first win, dude. Plus 4,000.
Wow.
It was that year where Brady missed the first few games because of Deflategate, and then Jimmy G went down. Jacoby Brissett plus 4,000. He ran it in from like 29 yards on a scramble. Absolutely insane.
Damn.
I've never had a feeling like it.
Plus 4,000. That's an odd.
I'm probably gonna go watch. I'll be watching that clip when we get off the phone because I miss that feeling.
Yeah, that's one of those wins that keeps you in the green for at least the rest of the week, or it gives your bankroll a little help for the time being.
Yep.
My next one is I'm gonna take this one's. It's very similar, and I kind of like fucking hate that I'm doing it, but it's the baseball version of what I just took. The runs, hits, errors. It's like one of those things where. But this one is one of the ones where I'll more lean under on it, to be honest, because I usually try and pick my spots. Baseball is one of my like my better sports. I would say, not for gambling, because gambling on baseball is impossible, but like I know the pitchers, I know the lineups that they're facing, and you get a guy like DeGrom or fuck Trevor Bauer. Literally anyone else out in Kershaw. I used to take it on Kershaw a lot. Just take the under, like guys that are strikeout pitchers. They don't have to deal with or a team solid in the field. Like I never take it on the Mets because they make so many goddamn errors. But one of those so it's the runs, walks, and errors. I would say I lean more under on that, but that's one of those things where if you're playing the Yankees, you take the over on that because they fucking mash.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Again, clearly we're very different people. Where you like these full game sweats, like these unique, and I'm looking for that quick hitter or loser, which is why my third one. And this is as bad as it gets, but you can actually bet on like who's gonna win the jump ball in an NBA game.
No, you can't, Scott. That's literally so
yeah,
fucking. That is literally the
you
Adam
could.
Sandler movie that I'm drawing a blank on right now. They just wrote about it. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about. The one that just came out with Kevin Garnett.
I
And
know what you're talking about.
that.
I'm not gonna think of the name either.
God damn,
I
why am I
love
drawing
Adam
a blank?
Sandler.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that before.
Oh, really?
I've never actually seen that line before. Uncut Gems.
Yeah, you think Uncut Gems. No, so I mean, I was doing this with a few buddies back in the day, but there's like we had some book where both sides on the jump ball were always minus 167, and we actually found like this like sheet online where someone was actually keeping track of every single player's jump ball record throughout the year. So we had like percentages, like we had like Roy Hibbert, Andre Drummond, like we had all these guys that we knew were going to win the jump ball like 75% of the time. So if we saw like the fucking Pistons with Drummond playing against like, or Steven Adams was one of the top guys playing against the guy with like a small ball five or something, we would just hammer that minus 167, and they would still lose sometimes. Like they don't always care, so it, definitely not a guaranteed winner, but a sweat of all sweats.
I've never seen that offer before, and even just you explaining it, having both sides minus 167. And if I saw that visually, there's no way I'd even like I'd just keep scrolling. Like, anything that's juiced that bad on both sides cannot be a fun time to bet.
I think it was just it was laziness by like the book, like just not wanting to actually figure out who was in this jump ball, so they were just gonna juice you out. But like, if you give me a guy who's gonna win 80% of the time, like I'll take him every game.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a surefire deal. That's probably why the odds are so damn juiced. All right, my last one. This one's kind of like a fucking pussy move in me. I'm not even gonna lie, but
nope. Let's hear it.
It's a 2-team teaser, 6.5 points. I talked about this early. Like
nothing lame about that, man.
It's kind of my bread and butter. I find them early in the week. The lines before the public fade juices them up a little bit. Give me like the two teams. Like this year was a lot. It was a lot of the Chiefs and Saints, getting them down to like inside football numbers, getting them into like under 3 or something like that, where they're not covering a regular spread, but you're getting the teaser. I like to put I usually like to do one of those a weekend. Because even on a slow weekend, like when I'm not liking the lines, you get one of those in. Do it for the 1 o'clock window and the 4 o'clock window. You have it. You have a little bit of action at all times, and you just kind of feel like you're doing well. It's kind of a cop out compared to the bets we were doing, especially yours, because yours are so fucking, the odds are so crazy. But it's what I'm gonna stick with. It's one of those bets that surefire or not, you're gonna see in my history.
I mean that's a classic. You can't feel like a pussy for taking teasers, bro. If you like football and you like betting, you're gonna be fucking teasing shit. That's just the way it is. Teasing is great. I don't know if it's like profitable, but it's great. And
that's what it is. It's not really profitable because like when you have to stack the two teams odds against each other, like you're still like usually minus 120, minus 130, something like that.
Stuff. I actually have one more that I want to mention that I just discovered this year.
Bonus.
It's called a pleaser. You hear of a pleaser?
Yeah, I've
you
heard
see
of
the pleasers?
It's the other way. It's the opposite of a teaser.
Yeah. You give 6-7 points the other way, and the odds are, I think a 2-team pleaser is 5-1, and a 3-teamer is 15-1. So again, like I mean, gotta be near impossible to win. I don't think I ever even. I don't know. I must have done one, just because it tickled my balls just looking at it.
Did it
But
hit?
that's the kind of thing that no. Probably not. Probably not even fucking close. But I mean, just when you pop that up and you see the payout, and it just your jaw kind of drops a little bit. You got to put it in. So I stay off that page from now on. I'm not trying to get into that.
Yeah, one of my buddies, it was probably around like week 14, week 13 last year. He just one of the books we were on had like a 10-point teaser option, and it's locked at 2 teams. It's like -2, it's like minus like 165 no matter what, and you get these. It's just so dumb, and he literally lost like I don't know a fucking fat stack on it, and I was like, I'll never like 10 points too much. Like there's a reason why that shit's capped, and there's a reason why. Like his team lost outright, and this kid has got he's got 10 points the other way. One
Yeah,
more
man,
thing for
every
you.
week. Let's hear it.
What's going on with Maryland basketball? Are they going to make a run in this Big Ten tournament or no?
No. Dude, we just won 5 in a row. And then we lose at Northwestern last night. Northwestern sucks. Like Maryland, at some point, dude, they were shooting 50%, but they were down by like 6 because they had taken 12 less shots because they were just turning over every fucking time down. They would just run down the court and throw the ball away. So like, and that's after beating fucking Wisconsin, Michigan State, all these blue bloods, like Purdue. They just go and fucking lose at Northwestern. They were looking at a potential like 6, 7 seed, and that'd be really great considering this was a rebuilding year from the start. But now they got to like play Penn State to like hang on to a even like a 9 or a 10 seed, and if they lose this game and then lose first round Big Ten tournament, like all of a sudden you're back on the bubble. So
Yeah,
there's pressure. There's pressure.
Big Ten's one of the better conferences this year, and Maryland, like I thought Maryland was able to hang with them for a little bit, but dude, it's going to be a wacky end of March between.
I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited.
Michigan, Iowa look to be like a great Big Ten potential final matchup, and then honestly, whoever gets that 4th number 1 seed, I kind of talked about it last episode when they were talking about it, but that 4th number 1 seed is going to be an interesting spot to be in. Anyone's got to go up against Gonzaga in the Final Four. Do you think? I don't know. I'm excited for March Madness. I'm not a big college hoops guy, but March Madness always tickles the blood. And just to put this out there for some of my folks, check your live lines frequently during March Madness, because my best gambling moment ever, of course, it wasn't a legit win. It was 3 years ago. I think it was like USC. They were up by like 17 points with 7 or 8 minutes left in the game. The line on the book was broken, and it was plus 16 and a half. Literally emptied my account balance onto it. I mean, I still lost it all by Friday, but just so
of course you did.
Just keep an eye out for that. Just a little fun.
Did they actually like?
Oh no,
they give you that win?
They credited it. Yeah, it was just like
yeah.
I mean, that was the day before shit was getting like. Now it's obviously so legal and becoming so regulated that it probably wouldn't slide. But this is back in the offshore days when it wasn't legal in any state except Nevada.
Word.
Just
awesome.
keep an eye out, New Yorkers. It seems like it might be happening soon. We'll see. All right, Scott. Any final words?
Not really. Only final word is that the first future I gave out, like on my first time with you on the show, Illinois winning it all. Looks like they're getting a 1 seed. So all I'm saying is look out for Illinois.
Wow. All right. I didn't even know that. It's a nice little tickler. All right, Scott. Thanks for coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube if you're watching. Follow me on Twitter at AdamCreer1997. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Kriegs Korner. Scott, if you want to give me your Twitter.
I don't even know what my fucking Twitter is, bro. Put it in the fucking link.
All right. It'll be right there. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good weekend.